People in Salem were quickly realizing that getting captured and examined was an almost guaranteed fast track to conviction and public execution.
No!
However, while most of the people who knew this still played the game, there were others who tackled accusations from a different angle. In Cambridge, a woman named Elizabeth Carey was accused and imprisoned, so her husband, a military man named Nathaniel, decided to actually do something about it.
Now, this is a movie. I feel like this little segment right here, because it comes down to, it's like, I've got a certain set of skills. I could turn wheat into the shape of a woman. And they don't know. They don't know that it's not you in there. It's actually just wheat.
All right, so we have a Liam Neeson Taken situation. Is this about to be a superhero tale?
It's Taken.
Okay.
Knowing that she would hang if she went to trial, Carey worked with an accomplice to break his wife out of prison. They were successful!
They did it.
Nice.
That's cool. Which prison break?
What were prisons back then? Just a whole series of different kinds of sticks? How did they hold people? I mean, they're not like today. You can't break people out anymore.
There actually was several versions of it. There was kind of shitty, kind of impromptu put-up jails, right? Like they had to do stuff like that. There was also just the kind of the courthouse where the constables were. They'd have like a holding cell or two. There were essentially just shacks attached to the building. But also, I do believe there were, and I might be wrong, side stories LPOTL@gmail.com if you know, because I'd love to know. I believe that they also dug ditches and had put people inside of ditches and then had sort of gratings put on top of them.
Either way, not the most difficult prisons to break out of, perhaps.
Well, it's not Supermax, but it's going to be somewhat difficult. It's not going to be the easiest day, although sometimes you could just break someone out with an axe.
Yeah,
Sweet.
That's fucking sweet.
We broke them out with a sick guitar riff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, after Nathaniel stayed behind to take the heat for a couple of days while his wife got clear, the daring couple fled to New York City, where nobody gave a shit about witches because witches were bad for every business except rope.
Whoa.
Meanwhile, though, those who didn't have a bold military husband to arrange a jailbreak were left to face the music in Salem. On August 2nd, the court of Oyer and Termine reconvened to hear the third round of witch trials, beginning with the so-called Queen of Hell, Martha Carrier.
Now that's a big title.
It is.
Because you got all these fucking witches. How's she get to be the Queen of Hell? Like, why is she the one? Why is she in charge? Because she's last?
I think she has the most amount of soot on her feet.
Dirty-ass feet, but some people like that.
I know.
Unclear.
Okay.
Maybe
Unclear.
Do you think that it was because she was like Quine, like that style, and everyone's been like, "Wow, girl, you go, girl!" Like it was like that, where they were all like, she was like a fashion icon or something.
I think it was a lot like everything else, where someone just said it and it stuck.
Yep.
Maybe she wore Prada.
Ooh, maybe it's Maybelline.
Well, Carrier had been the woman whose sons had flipped after being tortured, discussed at the end of the last episode. But so many people testified against Carrier that the testimonies of her sons weren't even heard in court.
Damn.
Most notably, influential minister Cotton Mather used an oddly John Waters-esque insult when he referred to Martha Carrier as a, quote, rampant hag.
Whatever, dog. That just means she's on that grind. She's in that grind culture out there being the Queen of Hell, being herself, supporting herself, being her own queen, right? Because when it comes down to it, queen ain't without anybody. She ain't a king. She don't need a king.
Can one person be rampant?
I think so. That's the idea. And that's why I feel like we'll put it to our listeners. Be the rampant hag you know you can be. Because that means...
I agree with that,
Because you're undeniable. Because you're just a hag who's everywhere, anywhere, at all times.
If you're a man, be a herg. Is that the male version of a hag? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's an asshole.
Oh, yeah. That's true, too.
Well, partly, people turned against Martha because she showed a seeming lack of empathy for the afflicted, while the rest of the community was bending over backward to take care of these poor, put-upon girls.
Oh, it's kind of like how my mom did the thing when the Michael Jackson news, like, fully hit, and it was like, oh, when I got molested, no one took me to an amusement park. Is it just that, where you just, like, she's just been like, yeah, fuck these fucking other bitches ain't doing shit, right? I'm a rampant hag.
I love that
I'm everywhere. I don't take a day off from being a bitch.
I love that your mom has the same ideas as Sam Kinison.
Yes, she is. It reminds me very much of Birdcage when Nathan Lane's character was like, why don't they just let the babies die and they'll take the mothers down with the ship over about abortions? And then Gene Hackman's like, that's exactly what Rush Limbaugh said.
However, again, like it was with the fucking farm animals in the last episode, many of the people that testified against Martha Carrier did so because of petty disputes over property lines, and those subsequent arguments had ended in specific and somewhat witchy threats. The year previous, a neighbor named Abbott had gotten into a dispute over property boundaries with Martha Carrier, and she got so angry that she said she would, quote, stick as close to Abbott as bark to a tree.
There's Abbott, there's me. There's Abbott, there's me. I'm a rampant fucking hag.
Well, why would someone want to be around someone like bark on a tree that they hated?
Because they fucking eyeball you, dog.
Okay.
Yeah, they're eyeballing you. They're making sure, man, you ain't gonna fuck up nowhere, no how, not without this rampant hag fucking seeing it and calling you on your shit.
I'm the queen of fucking hell. I hate
Right.
your fence.
Okay. I mean, it just seems like she would be making her own life miserable also.
Hey, man, Quine's gonna quine.
All right.
I think that's sort of the story of Salem right there, is everyone making everyone else miserable at the expense of their own happiness.
Nothing
Got
but
you.
net.
Now, that threat wasn't too bad, but when she very cryptically said that Abbott would be sorry for causing trouble before 7 years were through, she added that not even the most talented doctor in all the land would be able to save him.
I'm liking her, man. I'm liking her, man. Don't you fucking dare to say anything about her grass.
I'm not messing with her.
Soon after, of course, many of Abbott's cows fell ill and died. He was struck with severe pain on his side. His foot became infected and allegedly gushed several gallons of pus when it was lanced. And a series of sores on his groin also became filled with enough pus to need regular lancing.
Just sounds like his body was trying to make another farmer.
Yeah. It sounds like he got monkeypox, which, by the way, I've done a deep dive on that. You want to avoid it.
Really good advice.
Oh, mamacita.
Well, supposedly, though, once Carrier was arrested, her neighbor's groin sores began to heal, and no further lancing of the boils was required. And so, for the crime of coincidence, Martha Carrier was convicted and sentenced to hang.
It's gonna take 4 ropes to hang me.
I guess so. So this guy got genital warts, and they blamed it on this poor woman?
It sounds a lot more like herpes than genital warts, but, not every sore in your groin has to be an STD.
No, absolutely. He could really just be, it could be a wasting disease. It could be a form of rampant psoriasis.
Great.
It could just straight
It
up.
could just be bad pants.
Bad pants. At the time, bad pants is like a cause of 5% of deaths because they just grind you down.
Oh, yes. The old asbestos Levi's.